Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. This webinar is designed to share with you a little bit about the MBA for Working Professionals program, but more focused on the student experience. And we're delighted to have 5 of our wonderful students with you today who will share about their experience and answer some of the questions you may have. So Asia School of Business, which we often refer to as ASB, was founded in 2015 by the Central Bank of Malaysia, Bank Negara, in collaboration with MIT Sloan in the US. And the purpose is to create a world-class business school in Asia to help supply talent for tomorrow. The collaboration between MIT and Bank Negara is significant, as this was the only way to start up a business school that it's the only startup business school that MIT has begun, and they are actively ensuring that we carry the MIT Sloan DNA in every course that's taught and in every key decision we make. Now, ASB offers 3 programs. We offer an MBA for full-time residency program, an MBA for working professionals program, and soon to be launched a master's in central banking, which will be focused toward people currently working in the central banks. And I've included our mission statement here as it's at the heart of everything that we do. Now, before we go any further, it might be a good idea to look at both MBA programs that ASB offers. Our MBA for full-time residency program was the first program that ASB launched in 2016. This is focused toward the student who wishes to pursue their studies full-time and possibly change careers upon graduation. Our MBA for working professionals program, sometimes called the MBA-WP, is our most recently launched program, sitting in our first cohort in August 2019. This is focused towards students who are already employed full-time, love their current career path, and simply wish to accelerate their career progression. Students from both programs graduate with a master's in business administration degree, and when looking at degrees, it's important to find the one that's the right fit for you. This particular student experience session is focused on the MBA for Working Professionals program, although there are several pieces of overlap between the programs. Now, a quick glance at the MBA for Working Professionals program. It takes 22 months to complete, with students coming to campus once every 6 weeks to spend an intense week on campus study. This means that students will need to take around 19 weeks out of the office in total, or approximately 9 to 10 weeks a year out of the office because of the time required each year to be here. The students will need to get their company's buy-in prior to joining the program. During the program, students take approximately 50% of their classes with MIT faculty and 50% of their classes with local faculty who come from all over the globe and have received their PhDs from many of the world's most prestigious schools. This gives students a huge advantage. They get the benefits of studying and learning from globally recognized names from MIT, as well as having the opportunity to learn business problems through an Asian lens. And with our local faculty who research in Asia and consult in Asia and live in Asia. So while a lot of business theory is the same globally, not all problems can be solved with the same global approach, and this is the ASB advantage as you get the best of both worlds. ASB students spend 4 weeks at MIT Sloan pursuing their studies, and as a result, in addition to graduating with their MBA from ASB, they also graduate with their certificate from MIT Sloan and are considered MIT Sloan affiliated alum in addition to being an ASB alum. And finally, woven throughout your studies is our professional development curriculum that includes executive coaching. So ASB is widely known for our action learning, which came from MIT Sloan's business school. However, we've taken their initial idea and expanded it significantly to ensure that students are market ready when they graduate. For working professionals, you're already market ready though. So we use the action learning in a different way to ensure you have the opportunity to learn in the classroom and then literally the next week apply your learnings to the office and apply it to projects that you're working on within your company. Students do an individual action learning project within their company with the guidance of our faculty and business coaches, and they learn how to approach projects from a consulting mindset. This includes scoping projects, developing a hypothesis, gathering data, applying frameworks, testing, and implementing solutions. And students will have the chance to complete either 4 significant projects or 1 very large project broken into 4 distinct phases throughout the program. And as you go through each project, you find that your skills get better at doing this each semester. However, there's one significant skill set that's gained when you have to walk into an unknown company and work with them to solve a problem or launch something new. So we address this with our practicums as we take students to a company, divide them into teams, and then are able to they're able to confirm and look at the problems, see whether they're solving the right problem, and then proceed with the hypothesis training, and development steps for implementation. So our class of MBA 21s, who you'll meet later today, did their first practicum at Volvo in Malaysia. The previous practicums have been that we've hosted have included AirAsia and Boeing. Now, you're probably familiar with the term of soft skills and hard skills. At ASB, we call the traditional soft skills smart skills because there's nothing soft about critical skills that often make the difference between your success or failure. And we refer to hard skills as sharp skills because these keep changing and you have to keep practicing and sharpening your skills in order to stay current with the workforce. So our academic and professional development curriculum are designed to teach you both sets of skills. On this side of this slide, I've listed the titles of our professional development modules, and we've designed throughout the curriculum to help you as you proceed and become better leaders. And then when we approached this to whether or not this design was accurate, we started with our corporate partners for feedback. And after refining from what our corporate partners shared, we then went to our students and their managers and asked them to refine again. But what skills you need today in the workplace are continuously evolving. So we expect that this slide, especially in the professional development range, will keep being refined and tweaked for each class. And we go through the program to ensure that we're encompassing what's currently in demand and the most needed skills. So I'm frequently asked what an overall schedule looks like. To help the prospective students better visualize, this is an illustrative example of approximately what to expect. Because approximately 50% of our classes are taught by MIT faculty, and currently because we're waiting daily because of the coronavirus to see how everything is going to happen in Asia, we are still working on putting together a final calendar for the academic year, but we'll provide this as soon as it becomes available. We've listed above the core courses that students take throughout the program, and we've also given to the right of that a sample list of electives that will be offered this year. Each year, the electives offered change based on faculty availability and student preference. For example, our current class of MBA students wanted to go more in depth for data analytics, so they worked with the school and we've added additional electives in data analytics. All electives that are open to our full-time MBA students are also open to our working professionals MBA students. In addition, we are also creating some flexible elective options for the MBA for working professionals. Now, I'm often asked what a typical week on campus looks like. The above is an illustrated example of what a class week could look like. Our current students can speak a little bit more to what their work days look like. However, I'll warn you that in addition to this, what's not listed here is the evening study sessions and the preparation for class the next day. So when you are on campus, you are quite busy. For an illustrative look at what time away from the campus would look like, we put this together to help you. So we tell people to expect approximately 10 hours per week that include your action learning project, with the goal that you still have a life outside of school and work to enjoy as well. Now, the program is designed for students to take from anywhere in Asia, as long as they're able to fly to Kuala Lumpur at least once every 6 weeks for class. For our first cohort, we initially kept the class small to allow us to adjust and improve as we went through the program. The cohort has 18 students in it, coming from 5 different countries, and 2 of our Malaysian students even commuted from Mexico for the first year, proving that it can be done from literally anywhere in the world. So our admissions criteria is listed on the screen. In theory, the same criteria exists for MBA for working professionals as well as the MBA for full-time residency. However, the MBA for working professionals program looks very closely to your background and work experience, probably more closely than the full-time. And in fact, many times when the applicants are not successful, it's because we're seeking much stronger work experience than they currently possess. Now, the application admissions process is very straightforward, although there will be periods of time when you don't hear from us and wonder what's happening. So step one, you complete your application and submit. Please plan to take some time as you want to think through your essay questions carefully before submitting, and it might take you some time to get your recommenders to complete the recommendation letters. We use the GMAC standard recommendation form as it allows you to use the same letter for different programs. And if you have a choice between the perfect application or an almost perfect application, it's better to apply earlier as there's less competition and more seats. And also very important, when you're applying for the MBA for Working Professionals program, please make certain to use your work email address. Step two is the evaluation process. Once you submit your application, our admissions team reviews your file and ensures all the documents needed for the evaluation are included in your application. If you've forgotten something, this is where the admissions team will reach out to you. And once this part is complete, your file is assigned to a member of the admissions committee to read. After your file is read, as long as we believe you are academically strong enough to complete the program, then you're invited to be interviewed. In our MBA for Working Professionals program, we do try to interview as many candidates as we can because we realize that you're more than just a document submitted and realize you may shine more in person than on paper. In addition, we also interview to assess your English fluency. And finally, after all the interviews are complete, our admissions committee meets to decide on all the candidates who have applied in this particular round. The admissions committee is comprised of 10 of our senior staff and faculty, and after all decisions are made, we reach out to you to communicate the decision. And this year, we're excited to announce that we're offering 2 very select scholarships for the MBA for Working Professionals. The 2 scholarships are 40% tuition, which is spread across all 5 semesters. There will be a separate process for applying, and all the applications for scholarships are due during round 3 deadline, as this is where all decisions will be made. Now, a note about the MBA for full-time residency deadline, because I know there's a few of you joining that are interested in the full-time program. We realize that the final deadline is this Monday, and you may now just be deciding if you wish to apply to the program. If you are serious about applying this year, at the end of our presentation, we'll share contact information. And if you'd like to apply, please just reach out to our admissions team. We'll arrange for an application deadline extension for you. Now, as mentioned on the last slide, this year we are excited to announce that we are offering 2 select scholarships for the MBA for Working Professionals. The 2 scholarships are 40% each, which is spread across all 5 semesters. And there is a separate application process for applying that's been detailed in this slide. And all applications for the scholarship are due prior to round 3, as we'll make the decisions at that time. So now the real reason for you attending today was to learn more about the students' experience and to have a chance to hear from our students who are currently in the program. So I'd like to take a minute to introduce the 5 students that we're very fortunate to have joining us today. And I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves to you by sharing what they currently do and why they decided to pursue their MBA at this time in their career. If I can ask Aidil to start.
Sorry, Jul. Okay, my name is Aidil. I'm from Working Professional. Okay, if you ask me why I choose ASB as my future development program, as CEO, as you mentioned before, that I'm a CEO of the Olive House in Malaysia, I believe it's very important for me to have a new development program for myself, because as CEO, you know that when you achieve a certain target of certain level in your life, you need to have a new venture of new group of people to develop yourself within your internally and your knowledge and everything around you. And then I believe that from my experience within 8 months or 6 months in ASB, I got what I asked for. And within all my friends, with their exposure, their knowledge, with the networking and all the knowledge I got from the ASB, give me a lot of opportunity, a lot of new knowledge, and very beneficial for my organization in this time. That's from me.
Thank you. Andy, may I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Yeah. So good morning. Thanks for,
Andy, I don't think we can hear you. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my line dropped off just now. Yeah, can you all hear me now?
Yes, very clearly. Thank you.
Yeah, so sorry for that. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Andy. I am currently working for Mr. DIY. I'm the VP of marketing. So the reason why I joined ASB last year, I think, is because the main reason is I wanted to see things out of the marketing angle. So I wanted to know more about finance. I wanted to know more about operations. And actually, I always wanted to take an MBA since many years ago. At the, I think 5 or 7 years ago, when I tried to start an MBA program, they actually rejected me because I don't have sufficient work experience. So then I just continue working. And then when the time is right, then I try to, engage and try to research for the program again, and I found ASB. Yeah. So yeah, there's something, some introductions about me. Thanks, Jules.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Merlvyn, can I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Good morning. I hope everyone's doing fine right now with this situation. Hi, my name's Merlvyn and I'm from Sapura Energy. I'm a work pack manager in Sapura Energy and I handle to manage projects. My background is actually an engineer. Then I went up the career ladder all the way to a work pack manager. And I chose to do an MBA because I wanted to expand my horizons. I was taking a few online programs here and there, but I felt that online programs were good, but they were very academic based. So I was looking at taking an MBA, and after asking around a few people, I've heard about ASB. And at that time, ASB only were providing the full-time program. And when you were balancing your career growth, which was going pretty all right for me, I couldn't leave my job for 2 years to do an MBA. So what happened was this working professional came up, and under Sapura Energy, they were open to have a few scholars to be sent over. So I applied for it and I got it. So I kind of like ASB because besides the academic rigor and the affiliation with MIT, there's a lot of hands-on experience that you could actually experience, like Jules mentioned earlier, like our action learning, our ops practicum, that really pulled me to gravitate towards ASB. Right, thank you.
Thank you so much. And Nhan, can I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Jules. Hello, everyone. My name is Nhan from Vietnam. I'm now working as the Deputy General Director of the Phú Hưng Securities. So that actually my background is the financial service. My company now provides the trading platform for the investor who trade in the Vietnam stock market. And the reason is that I take the MBA is that because I'm looking for a chance to upgrade myself in terms of the management capabilities, or even how to broaden my knowledge. The ASB is the first choice when I want to take the MBAs. The reason is that with the strong background in the collaborations with the MITs, and then the program is designed in the way that the action learning is focused on the Asia-based companies. So I believe that the ASB programs will help me to pursue my career as well as my ambitions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And last, if I could ask Pyora to introduce herself, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Pyora Nhan. I'm working at AirAsia Korea office. I'm doing I'm a marketer there. So In my case, I have been working as a marketer for around 10 years, but unfortunately, I don't really have any business background. So my major was English literature. So I was always eager to have MBA experience. And the reason I chose ASB, because I also tried to apply to MBA in Korea, but I found that the curriculum of ASB is really innovative, including the action learning. So that's the reason I chose ASB. And since our company is headquarters is based on the Malaysia, so I wanted to have more experience and network in the Southeast Asia. So I thought ASB is the best choice. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We truly appreciate it. So let me go to our first question. So in the following slides, we'll ask the most frequently asked questions that we receive, but in the chat box, if you can type your questions, we can't promise that we'll address every question here, but we'll certainly try. So if I can ask the first question is, what has been the most transforming about your ASB experiences this far? And I'll open the floor to let whoever wishes to take it first. Thank you.
I can take it. Yeah, so Andy here. Can everyone hear clearly? Because I got some connection problem. I just want to make sure before I start.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So what have been the most transforming experience so far? So I think if it's just one point, because I come in with intention, right? In my positions, I need more knowledge to run the daily business. And what I'm getting from our consultant, our supplier, or our colleagues is not sufficient. So I need to make sure myself are seeing things differently. So I think the most transforming experience is in ASB. I learn new things every day in every class, or even when I'm meeting different person from different continent of the country. And the best of it is you can apply it immediately, because you come in for a week into the school, and then you have a heavy schedule. You have been learning maybe 2 to 3 subjects, right? And then after that, you need to go back to your role for 6 weeks. And then that is the time when the memory is fresh, and then you can start applying some of the things inside your job. So I remember even from my second week, I came in, I actually took up something and I applied in the business, and we pretty much solved a very big problem. Yeah, so I think that is the transformations that I'm seeing so far, and I'm still enjoying doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. And can I ask one more person to comment on this as well?
Okay, Yang here. So I want to add on the NG point. For my case, the most transforming about the ASB experience, it could be the self-confidence. The self-confidence here come from the first that by taking the MBA at the ASB, I learned how to manage my times, because the reason is that now it's like I have more things to do. I need to study, need to work, the times for the families, for the relationship. So now I learned how to manage the time more in the way of the more efficiency. And the self-confidence is the more than that is come from the new knowledge I have learned during the classes. And I have the ability to bring it to the real world and have me to show the problem at work. The problem here is maybe the past problem or the current problem at the companies, but in the past, maybe I take more time to solve this. Now I know how to solve this problem in the more efficient way. So I think that this kind of the abilities have me to feel more better about myself, and it's gradually make me self-confident. I think the self-confidence is the very powerful. It's have me to it's kind of the to feel expect to learn the new thing, more energies to adapt with the new environments or everything. So for my case, that is the most transforming when I take the MPA and the ASBs.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So would anyone else like to comment, or would we like to proceed to the next question? Okay, so I will proceed. The next question, oh, sorry. So, and perhaps I can toss this to Merlvyn. For action learning was begun at MIT, but then we've completely put it on steroids when we brought it to ASB. Could you please share a little bit about your action learning experience and what you learned that's been impactful?
Hi, Jules. Thank you so much. I'm Merlvyn here again from Sapura Energy under the scholarship program. So for the action learning experience, because we are under the Sapura Energy scholarship program, there are 7 of us from Sapura Energy. So when we did our action learning in our own company in Sapura, we collaborate and bounce ideas off each other, even though all 7 of us were doing our own initiatives, our own projects, and we are all from different departments of Sapura Energy. It is a really immersive program for ASB's MBA. It's not because you're out of class that you stop learning. Actually, the whole experience, since the day we sign in from ASB, you get to experience it through action learning straight into your work. So you might think like you know your business. I've been in this business for 8 to 9 years. And but the action learning actually makes you realize like there's a lot of things you have to unlearn. So on top of that, you do have business coaches that ASB provides that will actually guide you through your action learning. So I find that the most rewarding because most of us go through our jobs just relying on ourselves, our own initiatives, and maybe our bosses and teams. You've never had a personal business coach that guides you how to address some of your problems and actually solve it. So I find that it is a really immersive experience. It's not just reading a book or trying to apply a theory. It's the whole package of learning in action. Thanks, Jules.
Thank you so much. And perhaps, Pyora, would you also like to comment?
Yes, Jules. So in my case, actually, I was expected action learning something like a full-timer too. So I've expected the experience outside of the current company, but I found that the current action learning for working professional is really perfect for us because you see how you can utilize the tools and skills you learn from the lecture to your real job. So for example, since I'm a brand marketer, so the research customer survey is really important and really key point to make your yearly strategy. So in my case, I'm trying to do design the customer survey in my action learning. So I can use the data analyze tools, which I learned from the DMD class, something like that. So it's really closely connected your real work. So I think it's a really valuable experience. Yeah,
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Aidil, could I also ask you to comment?
Okay, thank you, Jules. Again, I'm Aidil. For me, maybe the action learning experience is quite different compared to my other friends in the WP because I'm a CEO of my own company. The difference between WP and the full-time MBA, every full-time MBA, they will choose a certain company. They are in a group package. They will join together to serve the certain company for that action learning. We are the working professional. We need to go for the action learning for to our own company. For me, in my company, for Merlvyn in Sapura, for the Andy, Asia, Nhan, and every single person for us, we have our own company to serve in the action learning. Interesting about me because for the CEO perspective, for example, like me, to transform the organization to become a very dynamic organization time to time is very important. And to find the right consultant to serve our organization, to make the change management inside our organization is not an easy task. For me, when action learning give me a very good opportunity, when I have all the tools for the consultant, Boston, McKinsey, and with the very experienced coaches, the very structured syllabus coming from Professor Amra is our action learning professor. I brought everything from the action learning to my organization and teach some of my staff and my manager how to manage all the tools inside the organization. And I can push them that I told them that this action learning is coming from the ASB. I need to finish my job. I need to do this, do that, and so on. And then all the staff inside my organization believe there is a very important is coming from ASB and a very good tools coming from the MIT professor. And I can push my staff to follow all the instruction and give a very, very good impact to my organization until today. I really appreciate the action learning process. I really appreciate everything I got from the ASB. And I believe and everybody will appreciate whatever he got from ASB in action learning. Thank you, Jules.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, if we can change, we've just talked about the action learning, but we're actually most often asked about the classroom experience. Would you be willing to share about your classroom experience and some of the takeaways? Oh, sorry. There we go. Perhaps I could ask Nhan to start us off.
Thanks, students. So I'm back again. The class experience, I think that the class is designed in the way that every 6 weeks we have around 10 days on the campus. And the classes are designed to have us maximize the learning outcomes. It's kind of most of the times during the class, we learn the tools to support us to solve to support us to solve the problems for our action learning projects. Or it's also that sometimes we learn the case studies from the different companies, different perspectives. So the most interesting thing is my case is that the class is designed, all the class is designed in the way that on the knowledge we learn, that is from the group life case study, from it's help us to, I find that it's quite helpful because that we know how to apply these tools into the real world and how the other companies use that tool and how it's helpful for them to solve the problem for their business. So after the class, at night we will group together to solve for our group assignments or prepare some of the pre-readings for the night classes. I think that for our page, as we have the one thing that our class is doing now, that every residency week, we try to hold the one dinner together, hold the classmates will be together as the one days. I think that is really helpful and help us to be together to sharpen our collaborations. It look like the families. Yeah, that is the what is that I observed from the classroom experience. Thanks, students.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And perhaps, Andy, would you have anything to add?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Andy again. So maybe I'll give you a bold perspective on my experience because I'm a marketer. So to be very frank, when you are in class, so we have a class of around 50%. So we have 18 working professionals and around close to 30 full-time students. So we group together. It's very diverse. So I think first thing first is you wouldn't feel comfortable in class. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm saying that is because in all the classes, you actually feelings everyone is better, right? You feel yourself like, oh, I don't know this. How come that your classmate have this comment? Oh, that is so inspiring and so on. So, but I think that's the point, right? When you're trying to pursue the MBA, you just don't want to be the smartest in the room. You want to surround yourself with smart people. You want to learn from smart people, not only from the MIT faculty, from the local faculty, but also your classmate. And all your classmates will be very valuable resources for you. The learnings and then the experience they have, and then the perspective or the angles that they are thinking will actually give you a shock. Because if you are in an industry or a company for quite a while and you are in senior management level, you actually don't really feel this comfortable things, right? In your organizations, you wouldn't have these feelings at all. But when you go to a new environment, you don't have the hierarchy things in between, and it's just knowledge or ability. Then I think that is something that I feel tough at the beginning, but I adapt quickly, and I really appreciate and I really enjoy the competitive environment time to time. Yeah. So that's my very bold experience from the classroom experience that I would like to share with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. So the next question that we have is probably the one that most people grapple with the most. And as you're pursuing your degree, which is certainly not an easy degree, it takes a lot of work and dedication. And then you're also pursuing successful careers, and you still have families and obligations outside of both of these. So how are you able to balance the work, school, and life balance as we progress? And I'm going to toss this first to Aidil, because I think he actually gets the award for having the most kids in our program.
Okay, thank you, Jules, again. It's a very interesting question. How to manage everything in one table from me as CEO, and also to my another journey as an MBA student. From my perspective, the key point about the special about the ASB MIT is about the culture. What I try to say about the culture is about like this. I'm a CEO of the organization. I know that I need to pursue my MBA by hook by crook. I need to finish everything inside the syllabus, and everything I need to complete everything within the 2 years. But in somehow we never know that what will happen in our organization in this time. For example, COVID-19 happened, and my company one of the company impacted with the COVID-19. But something is very special about the ASB is the culture from the administration, from the professor, from the friend, all together. They help you to go through all the difficulty in this moment, and try to make sure you survive in this situation. I share one of my experience with ASB. My last residency in the WP program, I need to I skip is not the right word to use it. I missed 3 classes, the corporate finance classes, because I have no solution. I need to attend some meeting. It's very important regarding my company. And I feel a little bit frustrated because this is a very important subject, and I have no background in finance. I have no knowledge about it. I feel very inferior about it, like Andy mentioned before. But something is very good when I talk about my problem to Jules. I talk my problem to my professor. I talk to the TA and also a few of my friends. They try their best to help me. They compile all the subject, all the notes are coming from the professor, and a professor give a few options. What can you do to make sure you understand the subject and can take the subject very well? And Jules helped me a lot of things. This is something is a very special about the ASB. The culture itself is, I believe that this kind of culture you cannot see in the other organization or any MBA. Instead, you can find it in the ASB itself. This is a very, very good moment, very interesting experience for myself, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Jules.
Thank you. Merlvyn, would you like to comment as well?
Hi, I'm Merlvyn. Yes, I think the biggest thing that you have to acknowledge that you might not be the smartest person in the room and that you are not going through this alone. I know we've talked about a lot of good things about ASB, but I think it's really true. I think some of the photos you see out there are very genuine photos, how close we are. So I think when we struggle with work and with studies and general life situations, we share with each other. And it's not just sharing among the classes, we bring it up to the school also, so that they could understand. And we'll try to work things out together. And also, it's not just a moral support. Sometimes they do give you really good practical tips, like how do you manage our team that's at work while we are actually studying, how you manage your bosses, and even that sometimes you learn how to manage your professors. So these are all really good skills to have. Like I think Jules shared earlier, the SMART skills. This is where you learn about managing everything all at the same time without going through a syllabus or an academic book. So there's a lot of moral support, and you have to know that it's not you going through it alone. Thanks, Jules.
Thank you so much. And Pyora, could I also ask you to comment, because you have you fly in, so you're not based in Malaysia, you're based in South Korea. So you're doing this program, a mixture of being on campus here in Malaysia and then flying home and then doing some of the online class as well. So I was wondering if you could comment and add to this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jules. So yeah, since I'm working in Korea, but I always fly to Malaysia for the MBA. So to be honest, at the beginning, it wasn't really easy. I had a really tough time because you cannot really stop working while the courses. So sometimes I remember that even the break time, I had a phone call from the Korea and I still worked. And it wasn't really easy, but I think it's the time problem. After the first semester, I found that myself and my team of the working team got used to it, and they also support me to focus on the course while I'm here. And I think after time goes by, I think I understand how much effort and how much time I have to put to get the required result in the academic aspect. So I think I get used to it, and finally you can handle both work and school life and even my personal life. And I think I would like to emphasize that this ASB is really open-minded, and you have Jules and Nabila. They are a really wonderful team, and they are really open to listen to you. So whenever we have any problems, whenever we have hard time, they always listen to us, and they're trying to reflect our feedback. So I think that's the main reason we can survive here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So the next question I have is about a little bit about the network, because we're always asked about what's the ASB network like. So I was wondering if perhaps Nhan would like to start with this one.
Thank you. So for the ASB network, it's like for my case, look like before the taking the MBA, it's kind of the introvert persons. I'm not really open with it's too aggressive. So in how to balance the network. But by taking the MBAs at ASB, I totally changed. I think so. The ASB create many chances for us to open the network. That is maybe during the lunch sections, or even some of the warm dinner together with the alumni. So I think that after this kind of the events, I find myself more active and how importance of the network in our career. So as the MBA candidate, I think that it is very good chance for all of us to open the network, to listen from the different perspective at a different business, and then you can have yourself to know more, to absorb the more knowledge as well as the perspective from the different peoples and from the different industry. Yeah, so that is what I get, and what is my input from the ASB network. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Andy, if I can ask you, because you're coming from a role where you probably already have an outstanding network in Malaysia, but can you also share with us a little bit about the ASB network, what you found, and whether or not it's been able to help you?
Okay. Yep. So I think the network in the business school and the real world is totally different, right? So in the business school, I think you build real relationship and you make real friends, and you all have a same objective, and you all have a lot of projects, you know, to go through together. Actually, when I start to take the MBA classes, I actually quite you know, get inspired from my managing director. He's an MBA graduate from Cambridge. He said, you know, go take the course, go make new friends. You will see the real friends when you are during your studies. But you see, in fact, in the business world, you have a lot of connections, but those are maybe not a real relationship, because people knows where you come from, and people tend to, you know, have some agenda behind. But I would say the best descriptions for the MBA-WPs is like a family. So we have a small bunch of 80%. We are the first group who started this. As we are also, you know, risk taker, because this is the first MBA-WP courses when we took it. But we are united, right? We are like a family. We share problems together. We handle obstacles together, and we actually motivate each other a lot. So I think in our first semester, we actually struggle. We just can't cope with the workload, you know, because you need to manage work, you need to manage, you know, your family, and then you need to manage a totally new course and a lot of reading and a lot of writing. So we also have people start to talk about, you know, want to give up, consider to drop the course because of the intensity, but because of the bond between us and the group that give us strength to stay together. Whenever you think you want to give up, but you think, you know, you have a big group of peers that is supporting you, you will actually push yourself further. And a lot of time when we are in campuses, we stay together at the study area. We study together, we have fun, and then we help each other when we are facing problems. So I think that is what I think I earned from the MBA career in the first year. And I also would like to quote, there's an MBA graduate that they shared with us earlier. So when the 2 years during the career, during the MBA journey, you will notice 50% is on academic and 50% is on your relationship. But when you have graduated, actually there's not, you won't have too much of academic left, right? So 80% will change to the relationship that you have built here. So I think the point is actually encourage us to, you know, to really build good relationship, and to actually share to you, you know, what kind of relationships that we can gain or we can actually earn throughout the career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So for our last question, I'm actually going to ask everyone if they could comment. And that's, can you give one sentence advice for prospective students who are considering the MBA for Working Professionals program? And perhaps start with Aidil.
For me, it's a worth it journey for me. It's very worth it. That's it.
Thank you. Andy?
Okay, I would say for the potential student, don't wait, right? Don't wait. I made my decision in less than a month. Juice knows that. And let the journey begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Merlvyn?
Hi. In one sentence, I'll say that this is not a part-time work, part-time study, but it's a fully immersive combination of work, study experience that will completely transform you.
Thank you. And Nhan?
If that giving the one sentence advice, I may talk. By taking challenge, you may surprised how excellent you are. So don't wait. Thanks.
Thank you. And Pyora, can I also ask the same as well?
Yes, Jules. So I would like to say my life has been divided before and after ASB. And I think yours will be too. So get the chance and maybe you can start with us. Yep,
Thank you. Truly appreciate it. And I'm going to flip to the last one about questions. We learned throughout this chat, and our deepest apologies for this, because of all the security issues that they have been having with Zoom, our IT team went in and actually clamped down quite hard to make certain that we didn't have anyone hacking our system. But at the same time, they disabled the chat function, which we were unaware of until we started this, the webinar today. In fact, it was Aidil that sent us a screen that said that chat has been disabled. So our deepest apologies that we have not been able to accept your questions, as our whole entire goal was to accept your questions throughout this. But I do want to give you the email address that follows on this slide, which is mba-wp.admissions@asb.edu.my. And Fazila and I monitor this box, and we will quickly answer any questions that you have. And we can even put you through to students if you have very specific student questions as well as a follow-up. So again, our apologies on that. Before we close today, I just wanted to ask the students, we've given their one piece of advice, but if there's anything that we didn't cover that you think should be covered, would you mind stepping in and sharing that now? Okay, I will take the silence to mean that our students actually thought that we have covered almost everything as well. So with that, we're at 10:27, and this was supposed to end at 10:30. So we will thank you very much for joining us today. And I'll leave the screen up here for a little bit so that you can write down the email address. And we look forward to speaking with you very soon. Again, thank you so much for your time. And immediately after this, probably on Monday, we'll be emailing out the presentation to you in case you missed any at the beginning or would like to review it again. Thank you again so much. And thank you also especially to our 5 students who joined us as panelists today to help answer questions and provide you insight as well. So thank you so much and hope you have a great morning.